All right, everyone. This is Mr. Steele. Welcome back. I hope you had a great spring break. Today we're going to do a paper cutout collage in the style of Henri Matisse. Now, Henri Matisse was a French artist who did not start off as an artist. He actually started off studying law to become a lawyer. And he ended up getting appendicitis at a very early age and was sick for a while. And his mom gave him a paint box or a paint set, and he discovered that he was really good at art. So he decided to abandon his dreams of becoming a lawyer, or abandon his dad's dreams of him becoming a lawyer, and study art instead. So he moved to Paris, and he began making very beautiful art and paintings with vibrant colors. And he was able to meet other artists like Pablo Picasso, and he just became very well known for using his use of color and making very beautiful sculptures and paintings. As he became older, though, he became very ill, and he had stomach cancer and was unable to actually stand anymore. So he was confined to a wheelchair, but that didn't stop him from making his art. He was so passionate about it. And so even though he couldn't stand and paint, he wanted to do something with his art. So he decided that he was going to do what was called paper cutout collages. So he took really pretty colorful paper, and he would make shapes on it and cut them out. And he would paste them onto other pieces of paper that were sometimes the size of a wall. They were very big. And we have someone help him paste them up. And they were very vibrant and organic, and they would flow very nice. So he would call this painting with scissors. And so what we're going to do today is make a paper collage in his style, and we're going to paint with scissors. So here's how it's going to go. Okay, so the first thing you want to have is you want to make sure you have a piece of paper, a ruler, or you can use a straight edge such as a book, and a pencil. Okay, so I have those things here. And you're going to divide your paper into sections using geometric shapes. Now, a geometric shape is a shape that one has to measure with a ruler. So some examples of geometric shapes would be rectangles, squares. A triangle could be a geometric shape. Think about shapes that you would have to measure. So, for example, a square has to be equal on all four sides to be a true square. So these are the type of shapes you're going to make. They're usually kind of made up of very straight lines, with the exception of maybe like a circle, which has to be completely round. So you're going to just divide your paper into different sections. It does not matter how you do it. I'm just going to do a series of squares and rectangles. All right. And I think I'm going to draw a line here. And then I'm going to draw a line here. So I'm just going to divide it into different sections. You don't want to really cross over any lines, so you can see how I'm stopping when I get to other lines. Now, once you like your layout, you're going to color it in. And I've already done that on the other side, so I'm just going to flip it over. And I have already colored it in. So I'm going to turn it this way. Well, actually, I'm going to keep it this way. So I colored it in with crayons, whatever colors you want. Make your colors bold and vibrant, colorful. Use contrasting colors. So I put a dark color next to a light color. So I have a warm yellow next to a cool green. Down here is a warm red. So I have a lot of different things. If you want to put some designs in there, you can do that as well. Okay? Now, on a separate piece of paper, you want to draw what are called organic shapes. Now, organic shapes do not have to be measured. In fact, you draw them freehand. They're whatever comes out of your mind. Organic shapes are normally found in nature. Organic shape could be the outline of a gingerbread man, or the outline of a horse, or the outline of a person, or the outline of a car. It could be all kinds of things. But I drew some organic shapes that don't really have names. They're just shapes. And shapes, to make it a shape, have to be closed and they have to be flat. And we talked about that in class. So they have to be closed and flat. So you notice that all of my shapes are closed and they are flat, okay? So once you have those organic shapes drawn out on your paper, you then want to color them in. So I have already done that, and I have colored them in and cut them out. So you're going to color them in and you're going to cut them out after you color them in. If you want, you can, I left this one white because I like the white up against the paper. So I have these shapes cut out, okay? Now, if you want, you could also look through a magazine and find a pattern or design. So I have a magazine here, and I found a page where there's a nice, cool design. You could use that to draw an organic shape on there. So I might decide I want to draw an organic shape over that design. And again, it just needs to be closed and flat. And then I could cut that organic shape out. And so instead of you actually coloring these in, the coloring is already done for you because you drew it on top of a design or a solid color inside of a magazine. Now you want to avoid words, you want to avoid images of people. We're trying to make an abstract collage. So you don't want to cut out anything that would be recognizable. So I'm just going to cut around this, and we can add that to the shapes I've already cut out. Now, if you don't have scissors at home, you can tear your paper as well. It makes a really cool effect on the edges. Just make sure you tear it very slowly. I find that folding the paper on the line before you tear it helps you to cut it out or tear it out a little easier. But you can tear your paper as well if you like. But scissors work really good. So I'm just going to cut these out, and we can add it to those shapes. Make sure you turn your paper as you cut so that you can get your scissors in the right angle, and always cut away from your hand so that you don't cut yourself. All right. So I have these shapes here, and I have them all out. Now I want to get my first paper back, and I want to now start looking for places where I can place these shapes. So for example, this white piece, I can place it there. This light blue piece, I might want to put it on top of my pink spot. I could take my green and maybe overlap it onto my blue or my orange spot. This piece that I got from the magazine could go down here. And I'm just going to arrange them in different ways. I'm not going to glue them down yet because I want to make sure they work in the spot. So for example, like this red piece would not go well on top of this red piece because there's no contrast. So a better spot for it could be on top of the blue piece, on top of the green piece. And then maybe I move this down to go here. But because I didn't glue it down yet, I can move them in different ways and change them until I like what I see. So I'm just going to go in different ways and see if I like how I'm arranging it. There's no right or wrong. You can put it in different ways. It can go in different directions. Once you get it down like you like and you like your arrangement, then you could take glue and you can glue them down to your paper. All right. So I'm not going to glue them down for the sake of time, but you can glue them down for to your paper. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Mr. Steele, I don't have glue and I don't have scissors at home. How can I do this project? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I'm going to get this out the way. And I have my paper where I made my organic shapes. So I have my organic shapes here. I drew them first. And now I can take my ruler and I can draw the geometric shapes behind them. And all I have to do is just make sure that I skip over it as I draw. And I'm going to use a Sharpie so you can kind of see my line a little bit better. So once I get to the shape once I get to a shape, I want to jump over it. So I'm going to come down, stop, jump over the shape, come down, stop, jump over the shape, and continue that process all the way down to the end of the paper. So by jumping over the shapes, the line that I'm drawing appears to go behind the organic shapes. So you can see how it looks like it's going behind those shapes. And I can turn my ruler in different ways, just like I did when I started the process earlier. And I can draw my organic shapes, my geometric shapes behind my organic shapes. And now I don't have to cut it out as I did earlier. But cutting it out is pretty fun. So if you have scissors and glue at home, I definitely would love for you to do it the way that I showed you earlier. But this is just a way that you could do it if you don't have those tools at home and all you have is a pencil and maybe a piece of paper and a ruler. So you can just divide it into different ways that way. So I'm going to turn it that way so you can kind of see it a little bit better. But you can see how I drew my lines behind there. And now all I have to do is just color it in. All right, well, I would love to see what you guys create. I'll put this one back here. And this is a really nice pattern. So I would love to see what you guys create. Send your pictures in to me. You can email it to me or you can send it to your teacher and they will get it to me. And I will post it on my Facebook page. Until next time, love you. Have a good week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.